Lesson 11 Social Issues and Viewpoints of Minorities. Number 1. Dialogue. Do you know the United Nations? Yeah, the UN. Its headquarters is in New York. Yeah, and one of its main activities is protecting human rights. What do you think are some examples of discrimination in Japanese society? My ALTs tell us that they feel discriminated when children call them gaijin. Have you ever seen any other acts of discrimination against foreigners in Japan? Yeah, I have. When I was in elementary school, there were kids who had moved from China and Brazil, and they were bullied for not being able to speak Japanese. I see. Also, I heard that in Japan, if women get married and have a baby, it's common for them to quit work. But isn't that a form of discrimination in the workplace? Yeah. And according to the 2017 World Economic Forum, Japan ranks 114th out of 144 countries in gender equality, or the Gender Gap Index. The Philippines, however, ranks 10th, and women seem to have a high social status. In the Philippines, in both society and at home, women are stronger. By the way, the UN also supports fighting discrimination against the LGBTQ community. Oh, I learned about LGBTQ issues in my home economics textbook in high school. According to the UN, there are still 76 countries where identifying as a member of the LGBTQ community is a crime, and that's a violation of human rights. Oh, really? Well, on the other hand, in places in Europe, the UK, and the US, same-sex marriage is legally recognized. How about in Japan? No. Unfortunately, same-sex marriage isn't recognized. In schools in Europe, topics like LGBTQ identity are handled in biology classes. It seems that they teach about sexual minorities as one of the parts of nature. Oh wow, really? I would like to learn about it in biology too.
Hi, Isabella.
Hello, Tomohito.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you very much. And today's topic is about minorities. So in Japan, there are indigenous people called Ainu. And although the issues they face are gradually becoming known in Japan society, there is still not enough recognition of them. So have you ever heard or learned about Ainu people?
Actually, I have. I learnt about it briefly in the first year of university, and that was just about the brief history. And then I believe we also learnt a little bit about how they're struggling in the current society. Yeah,
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, great. So in Japan, I'm learning also the same kind of the things about indigenous people of Australia. Actually, I major in Australian studies, and in particular, I'm interested in the issues that indigenous Australians are faced with now. So you are from Australia, so I want to ask you some questions. Okay, the first one is, What kinds of problems Indigenous Australians struggle with?
There's actually quite a lot of problems, a lot of which actually are directly caused by the stolen generation era, I believe. And this is because all of the children from that time suffered a lot of like mental problems and like trauma from their identity being disregarded and their culture being denied from them. So this really led them to like abuse substances, maybe like drug and like alcohol use, so they have problems with that. In turn, this also led to health issues, and in fact a lot of Aboriginals actually have a lower life expectancy than non-Aboriginal people, and this also affected their education as they are a lower level of education and they're quite behind. Also, in total, overall, this impacts their reputation in society a lot. So there's a lot of negative stereotypes. For example, a lot of people view them as maybe to be druggies or like alcoholics, and in turn, maybe this affects their ability to find a job or employment. So the unemployment rates are very high. So problems such as this.
I see. Okay. Many people who watch this video don't know about stolen generation. So could you tell me a little bit about stolen generation?
Oh, sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So, for example, in the past, the government actually took away all of the Aboriginal families' children and wanted to civilize them, which is very messed up and not true. But they did this anyway, and they also wanted to. There was this thing called like the white policy, and they wanted to like breed them out to like become fully like Australian, which is what like allegedly Australian, which is like completely white, which is very messed up. And then after a very long time, all these children like grew up without their family, and this led them to have broken families in the future, since they really didn't have that guidance and they were like very isolated in a different culture that they were like made to feel they didn't really belong in.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, the last question is, so foreigners in Japan may not receive the same treatment or opportunities as Japanese citizens simply because they are from different countries. So what kinds of difficulties have you ever encountered in Japan?
Well, personally, since my Japanese ability is very low, I struggled with the language barrier. So just understanding what's going on, I guess, and also communicating. So I think that makes it very easy to feel isolated. Another problem is maybe the renting of apartments or houses or living areas. So this is hard, particularly because it's very difficult to understand like contracts in a different language. Additionally, this also goes for any type of contract, like when I go to set up maybe my internet or my phone. I've also heard from friends that they found it very, very hard to, when they went to like buy a new phone or set up a new phone company. So there's like a lot of problems such as these.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So languages is the very high barrier when we were in different countries. Okay, thank you very much for telling me your story. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much, and see you again.